All right, welcome to episode 7 of Reality Rundown with myself, Connor Nelson, and my co-host Christian Holman, where we are having some massive technical issues.
Yeah, it sucks. My microphone's not working very well, so we're going to do what we can tonight.
We'll see if we can make this work. Yesterday I wasn't in town. Today we're trying to figure it out. So we'll start off this episode, not a live eviction, but an eviction, and really it starts off with just all the same stuff we've been hearing, and it, like I said last night, it's starting to show the Nicole Anthony, Janelle Kaser, that dynamic of they really want her to stay, but she thinks it's the opposite, and they're kind of her only allies, but she doesn't see it that way.
Yeah, it's sorry, I was not paying attention. Yeah, so it's not looking good. Nicole started out being just trying to campaign hard. She was going super hard in the campaigning, and then as we quickly saw, which I'm sure you're probably waiting to hit, but she started to stress out over the wrong people.
Yep. So Janelle, it starts with Janelle talking about how she goes and talks to Memphis, and they're pushing for him to do something besides Nicole Anthony. They want Nicole Franzel is their main target, and they're pushing her hard, but they're really open to anything. But she just can tell Memphis is not grasping anything. He's not pulling anything. So it's clear to her that Memphis is not with them. He's not going to work with them, and there's nothing really they can do about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Nicole just didn't seem to really understand. She seemed to think that Kaser and Janelle had way more power than they really did. Now I don't know if it means Janelle and Kaser were just telling her, "Oh yeah, we're all up in Memphis' ear. We control him, yada yada yada." Which if they did, then that's probably on them. Not fully like why she got thrown up, but like to be so cocky. But
Yep.
if they didn't build it up to be that way, then Nicole just really
shot herself in the foot.
She had.
100%. But this definitely shows how, like, when Janelle's talking about how she doesn't have Memphis and Memphis is clearly not pulling for it, that he's definitely trying to play both sides and like just stay completely in the middle and not have to choose a side yet. But it's very telling of his game of like, if you're not going to help us out here, or like both sides, if you're not going to help us out this side or this side, Janelle or the other side, then clearly like you're not with us 100% either way. So Memphis did a really bad job as an HOH this week and really like hurt his game terribly bad. And Janelle and Kaser are also in a horrible spot because they couldn't get him to do anything. But from there, Nicole A starts making her rounds with trying to get some votes, and it shows her talk with Davon, and she's just like, I really want you to like vote based off game and not personal. And Davon's just like, after last year and just with everything going on and a black person has never won, I can't vote David out. To me, this is just, it's so dumb. Like, I get it. I understand, like, there's problems in this world, but, like, it's a game. Like, you're there to win. You're there to further yourself, not, like, drag people along in the hopes of maybe especially when it's a player like David that kind of can't do anything for himself, and it's very telling of, like, you're just not a good player. So to me, this is just like, Davon, you're not an all-star. Like, you shouldn't be there if this is how you're going to play. Like, you should be playing the game, not what you're doing.
Yeah, I think in terms of trying to get a black person to win, by keeping David, it actually could be
it will hurt
beneficial.
you.
So it may not be beneficial at all to do that.
And I think Nicole laid that out well. It's like, you might like vote him to stay just off morals, but like, if you want a black person to win, like, I'm here for you. Like, I will help you. I will help further your game. I don't think he's willing to do that for you. So, and that kind of, and it worked. Like, I think Davon was like, okay, yeah, like, I think this is true. Like, maybe I'll keep that in mind. And later on, we see, like, when she talks with David, like, okay, yeah, Nicole was right, which things later on in the week didn't pan out. But
yeah, I think had Nicole not gone crazy and started telling everyone she wanted to send home Janelle and Kaser, there may have been a case to get those votes.
Maybe,
so,
yeah. I don't know if that was her downfall, but I think there's just a lot of things that were just not going to work.
She was going so hard and being like, she literally told two people. She basically lost 2 votes immediately by talking about how she wanted to get rid of them. And then on top of that, she loses 2 people campaigning for her. And then because the more people you have campaigning for you, the more likely you are to be able to be like, okay, well, we can clearly see a power dynamic on the other side.
Yep.
I'm not involved in that power dynamic. So maybe there's a potential ability to form some power here, or at least form something to counter the other power for a little while.
Yeah. And also in this talk with Nicole Anthony and Davon, Davon's very clear is like, I'm not friends with David. Like, me and him have nothing. Like, we're not even working together really. And she's just like, I can't vote him out. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. Which again is just really, really dumb. Like, I get it. I understand. I see where she's coming from, but it just doesn't make sense in the game. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, potentially a bad game move, but I guess we'll see in the end.
Also, Kaser talks to Davon, kind of the same thing. Like, hey, is there any way that we can get Nicole Anthony to stay? Like, we really need her in this game. There's a power group, and he started going through the names, and Davon was kind of acting dumb because clearly she knows, like, she's kind of part of it. And he's like, we've got to start doing something to get rid of them. And he's like, David, there's the 4. There's Tyler, Nicole Franzel, Danny, and Cody. They're the 4. They're the power in the house. And David is right there with them. He's on the outskirts of that alliance, but he is with them. And she's like, "No, I don't think so. Like, I don't think I don't think they have David." And Kaser's like, "I'm telling you, David is with them." And you can kind of just see Davon like, it's not working. Like this talk Kaser's having with her is just not working. It's not getting through to her.
Yeah, she didn't really seem to have it very much. Now I don't know if she was as expressive throughout the entire conversation as production showed, but you could literally see, like, she was just, like, he would be talking, and she'd be like, nah, you know, you could just tell it just wasn't working for her.
Yeah. So, basically the same kind of talk. So then Davon because whenever Kaser goes and talks about how those 4 are working and Davon are there, Davon's like, well, maybe there is something to that. And so she goes and talks to David, and she's like, what's going on? Like, what do you got going on? Who are you working with? Like, are you working with anybody? Is there a boys alliance going on? And there's not even a boys alliance going on. Like, they're kind of like helping each other out, but there's not like a solidified, like, us guys we're going. This is it. Like, this group right here, we're going to the end. Like, that's just not a thing. And David's just sitting there like, there is one. Like, there's a guys alliance. And she's like,
I didn't think he said there was a guys alliance. He just said he had.
They didn't show it, but he did. So so Davon's like, well, who's in it? Who's in this alliance? And he's like, I can't tell you this. I can't tell you who's in it, but just know I've got your back. Like, don't worry. I'm looking out for you and Bailey. Like, I've got you and Bailey. This is for the better good. She's like, well, just tell me who's in it then. And he's like, I can't do it. Idiot.
Well, I mean, it shows a bit of while you're on the block, maybe it's probably really dumb. But at the same time,
well, if you don't want to tell it,
you're not going to throw people under the bus. But you're also telling someone that you don't trust them and you're not going to work with them fully. So
yeah,
he
but
messed
like
up
by saying anything.
I'm like, yeah, there is.
If she asked this question, hey, like, what do you got going on? Who are you working with? If you don't want to tell her, be like, I don't have anybody. Like, I'm struggling. I can't find anybody to work with. I've got you. I've got Bailey. But to be honest, that's about it.
I mean, I don't think he's in a solidified alliance with anybody.
But he's not. But they've talked about how they're just like looking out for each other. Like they're like not in an alliance. I don't think.
The thing
but
about that is like he's telling her that I think the reason he's saying, yeah, I got something, is I think he's really worried about seeming dumb in the game now. I think he's wanting to seem like he's playing.
Yeah, but
so he's kind of like, oh yeah, I've been working on some stuff.
If you're gonna do that, you can't just be like, but I'm not gonna tell you anything. Like,
yeah,
you can't do that. Like, it's just not gonna work for you.
Yeah, not a good look.
No, it was terrible. That was just a really dumb conversation all around. And Davon was clearly not having any part of it. From there, we go to David goes and talks to Bailey. And she's like, hey, like, David's like, I kind of told Davon she needs to calm down. I may have messed up. Is there anything you can do to help? And Bailey's like, dude, like, you're messing with the wrong person. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea, but that was not a good idea.
Yeah. A quote from Bailey, you never tell a woman to calm down.
Yeah, 100%. So then it goes to outside in the yard where Nicole Anthony is talking with Kaser and Janelle, and it's kind of like they're like, listen, we're trying our best. We're trying to get the votes. Like, we're here for you. And, like, Nicole Anthony's just not having it. Like,
Not at all.
She's just like, go ahead.
She looked beaten. She looked like she was already out of the house.
Yeah.
Which is a horrible look when you're trying to stay in the house.
Which has been all week. It's been like that all week. But it's just like they are doing, and they have shown multiple times, like they keep going to her, like we're trying to get these votes. Like we think there's a way if we can get 6, Memphis might break the tie. We don't know, but you just really need to work on Memphis. And she's just like, she doesn't believe them. She doesn't think it's true. Kevin's in her ear, like, listen, they're playing you. Like, just don't listen to them. And Kevin has been so far off. Like Kevin again, like why is he there?
He's missed everything.
Why is he there? And it's causing so many problems for Janelle and Kaser when they genuinely care about Nicole Anthony, and really no one in the house really does, except for Kevin. But Kevin's just feeding her really bad information.
Yeah, the whole everyone telling them that they're trying to get them out. I mean, I think everyone wants to work with that big alliance. Like literally everyone, that big alliance has done a really good job at getting in everyone's ear, I think.
Yeah.
To where like they all have their own little side hustles going on, and whether or not they're loyal to those side hustles, the side hustle thinks they're the main.
Except Christmas, which I think Christmas is going to be her downfall. She is in this big alliance. She thinks she's really close with them, but who's got her back? Like she's just literally there, and like eventually she's just going to get cut because it's just going to be an easy one to cut. So, like, I think Christmas, where it seems like she might be in a good spot because no one's really talking about her and everybody kind of likes her, really, like, going forward in a few weeks, she's going to be really easy to go after for that big group, especially if that big group is all that's left.
Well, I don't know about that. So, if she's the one who doesn't have the extra things on the side, then she's less of a threat. As the way what your big groups typically break down, or you have like you have Cody and Memphis. They're supposedly tied. Therefore, they're going to be classified as together. Then you're going to have, example, Nicole and Danielle classified together. Then you have a war where 2 are targeting 2.
Yeah, but you also got like a Cody that's super close with Enzo, super close with Tyler super close with David, super close with Cody. So like I think they're all kind of got like 2 or 3. And they're all kind of.
But the thing about it is they're not going to go after the one. They're going to end up infighting. And as long as Christmas doesn't choose a side,
just sits back,
or at least doesn't seem like she's on a side, then she'll probably be in a decent spot.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, yeah, I could see it. I hope not. I don't want Christmas to last long, but it's looking like she's gonna last at least 4 or 5 weeks.
Looks like she's
at
gonna
least
win the game at this point.
I don't think so. I don't think. I don't think.
You're in some trouble with your bets.
I don't think she will get the votes, just even if she makes final 2, because she's really not. Well, it's week 2. Well, I can't really say much. So Nicole Anthony gets up from the hammock after this talk with Janelle and Kaser. She's not having it. She storms off. Kaser's like, what? Like, Nicole, come back. Like, we're talking. Like, what's wrong? And she's just like, I'm not talking. Slams the door, goes into another room, and just is not having any part of Janelle and Kaser, which, again, the only 2 people in the whole house besides Kevin, which Kevin's useless, looking out for her.
Yeah, Nicole just, she was losing her mind, which it's exactly how she was last season. Whenever her back was against the wall, she just loses her mind. She's not very good under pressure, which she even admitted during HOH comps. Like I think last week she said during HOH comps, during competitions, she gets super nervous.
Yep.
Happens exact same thing. She gets put on the block, she gets super nervous, she starts freaking out.
Yeah.
And she crumbles under pressure.
Yep.
So
and then when she goes back into the room, it shows Kevin talking to her, and she's like, listen. Kevin's like, listen, Janelle and Kaser like helping you and like pushing for you to get votes, it's not a good thing. You need to distance yourself from them because everybody's going to see you with them and want you out, which is, again, just a horrible move because everybody wants her out anyways. So, like, if she can latch onto them too, and maybe they get Ian, and maybe Ian gets they get Christmas, which they think they have Christmas, which they don't, but they think they do, then they got 6. Memphis may break the tie, but if not, guess what? You're going to have 1 vote. You're going to have Kevin. So, like, where's the downfall in that?
Yeah, it didn't seem great. It's she just really missed the mark this week. It was sad to see, honestly.
It was it was just really bad. So after this, you just see Nicole going around being like, listen, my main goal is getting Janelle and Kaser out of here. Literally tells everybody in the house, like, I want Janelle and Kaser gone. And again, the two people that literally have her back all the way, and she's just like, I got to get them out. And these people are just looking at her like, come on, like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, did that news get back to Janelle and Kaser?
I think so. I know that, like, Janelle and Nicole eventually talked about it, and Nicole was like, I'm so sorry, like, I thought that you guys were tight with Memphis, which I don't think they showed this, but, like, I think they made up, and, like, she apologized, and, like,
It didn't show it.
But it didn't amount to anything. Like, it's just, she was too late on it to do anything. So at this point, it goes back to Nicole in the room with Janelle, and Janelle's like, listen, we're trying, like, hey, we lost you.
Uh-oh.
And but yeah, so she's like, we tried really hard, and she's like, there's really nothing we can do. And Nicole just gets up and says, you didn't try hard enough, and walks out. And Janelle's just like, what are you talking about? Like, literally, me and Case are the only two people pushing for you to get votes. Like,
yeah, it was a.
But that's
it was
when
just a really bad look for old Nicole. She was so upset, and then had Janelle crying.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. So then it goes to Janelle's in the bed and Kate's are standing there, and she's just like, I feel like I'm responsible for Nicole going home. Like, I really like Nicole. She's just like really upset, and then she starts crying, and Kate's just like, listen, it's okay. Like, I don't think I've ever seen you cry, which Janelle doesn't cry. That's not Janelle at all. So, like, that shows, like, Janelle really cares about Nicole, and Nicole is just looking at her like she's the devil. It's just, it's bizarre.
Which, it's good to know that they probably made up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Nicole was so upset after at the end of the episode tonight, but we'll get to that later, I would assume.
Yeah.
She, it just... I don't know. I wish they would have done different editing, because, I mean, it just doesn't feel good seeing Nicole be the bad guy. Which, you know what?
There was no way around it.
I think she really missed having that like father figure in the house this season, like Cliff.
Yeah.
She had Cliff last year, and it was just, I think that was really good for her.
But there was times last year where she didn't even trust Cliff and like was wanting to like vote Cliff out.
True. That is true.
So it's just, she is just not, I don't like.
She's really not a great big, not a really.
No, she was a fan favorite because that cast was so bad. So they threw her back on because everybody loved her, and she wasn't a good player. She just got drugged to the end. Like, she was not good. Neither was David. David should not be there. Like, I get why he's there because of all the things that happened last year, but David should not be there this year. He's just a waste.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few people that are very undeserving at first glance to be on the show. So it's
even not at first, like at first glance, it seemed wrong, and then as the game is progressing, it's like we were right. These people should not be here. Like these people don't know how to play this game, and it's clear they don't know how to play this game.
Some of these people may end up winning, so I mean, I'm gonna hold on to the first glance take, but will they win? Highly unlikely.
No, they won't.
But
it won't happen. David will last maybe 2 more weeks.
I think he's gonna be going on the block as much now.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a really easy target for someone to throw up. Which he might be just used as a pawn.
Yeah, I think he might be a pawn for a while.
And just stay as the pawn. But that's basically the majority of the first episode. Like the first part of the episode was just Nicole really messing up and not thinking that she has the people that she has. I just think she just really messed up. And like you were talking about the edit, there was nothing they made the edit soft. Like it was way worse. Like they could have shown way more of like just. It's just baffling. It's crazy how backwards the whole house, like not the whole house, how she was to the people that were actually for her. But what are you gonna do? She couldn't do anything to help herself. So we get to the speeches, and honestly, like the speeches are so dumb. Like especially David. David just gets up and he's like, I haven't been here long. I just want to play. Like last year, my time ended short. It's like, yeah, we get it. We understand you didn't play a lot. Like you were there for 4 weeks, but you didn't get to play. We know. You've told us. We know. It's not going to give you a vote either way. No one really cares. Like Just stop talking about it. That's
I mean, he doesn't really have much else to talk about. He doesn't know the game well, anyways. And
that's another thing. He didn't even watch the previous seasons.
Yeah, he doesn't know the game well. He didn't have any experience of Big Brother. No one knows who he is really in the house. So he doesn't have any of the positive, the advantages going into this. So
and if he could have used that nobody really knows how he plays as an advantage if he would have actually went in and made some connections, worked on his game, but he literally went in and just acted clueless. So if he would have brought in some people or gotten to some good alliances, which I think basically he's just kind of on the outskirts of everything, then I think he really could have done well for himself. But I just really don't think he's a good player. I think that's the problem.
No, I mean he's the stereotypical player that they bring in who doesn't know the game. Someone who just wanted to be on reality TV. That's basically what it is. Yeah. And he gets a second chance at it, and it's probably not going to work out for him.
No, he's not going to win. I will 100% guarantee he's not going to win.
You want to bet your pinky?
I thought about it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah,
but no, he's not going to win. The Nicole speech, and she clearly knew she wasn't she didn't have the vote. She clearly knew she was going home. And she basically was just good job, Memphis. You got me. Big tough Memphis, you got me. Good job. And she clearly knew it wasn't going to go to a tie because she just Memphis, you suck.
Yeah, she was just smacking Memphis. One last smack at the guy.
Yeah, and she's just listen, there's a big alliance. Go get them. Everybody knows. If they don't know, they shouldn't be there because it's very clear.
Yeah. And if you're not in it, then you probably need to be working on getting rid of it.
Yeah, and if you heard that and you're like, oh crap, I'm not in a big alliance, there you go. But so it gets to the vote, and the vote went very much like you thought it would, except Enzo. What the heck? I mean, you just throwing a hinky vote just to cause some problems? I don't know.
I had no. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. Whenever I saw Enzo vote, I was like, oh wait, is Nicole gonna stay?
Because they cut it, but it was. I mean.
Well, even if they hadn't cut it, had we go to the very next one, immediately I was like, that was shocking. Why did they do that? So, I mean, it was very interesting to see that vote. Do you have any idea why that happened?
No idea. No, I don't think anybody did. I think it was just one of those things that nobody knew what was why he did it or what. But I'm assuming he's just doing it to
cause a little chaos in the house because people will freak out over that second vote.
Oh yeah, 100%. It'll cause but everybody just be like, it was Janelle. It was obviously Janelle. So maybe not. It'll probably just get pinned on her and just go on about their ways. But I
think everyone thinks Janelle's too smart to do that. I don't think people would
maybe
think, because everyone knows that Janelle knows that she's.
But what would have been good if Janelle and Kaser still voted for Nicole, Kevin, so that's the three obvious ones that we're going to vote for, and then he throws that vote, so then they know that someone threw that in there, then that would have been a little chaotic. But I feel where it's just one, no one's really going to think much of it. They might. I don't know.
I think they might. I mean, if you see many times, or at least in the past couple seasons, where it's been supposed to be a 12-0 vote or whatever, and it ends up being 11-1, and everyone's like, who did it? And they're all freaking out. No one's admitting to it.
Yeah.
And it just causes, because then everyone has their speculations. And somehow they almost always speculate right, but they can't ever prove it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. So yeah, the vote went. It was 10-2, right? Yeah, 10-2. 10-2. Nicole Anthony gets evicted. And it was everybody knew it was going to happen. So she leaves, which I'm glad. I really wanted both of them out, really. If both of them could have gone tonight, I would have been happy. But she was just so off base of everything going on in that house, and she was really adding nothing. So, who cares? It's going to act honestly, it's not going to affect anything going forward. Except for, it's a loss number for Janelle and Kaser if they could have reeled her in.
She's just going to be a floater through the house. She's not going to make big moves. She may end up winning. If she would have kept stayed in the house, she may have won an HOH and shaken things up. But it just would have been a one-time thing. She's not going to win many comps.
Yeah. I didn't see her doing anything. And I'm just she's just kind of a pointless character in the game, really, if we're being honest, which you got to have those. So we get to her talking to Julie, and Julie is just talking about how, like, why did you think that Janelle and Kaser weren't for you? And she's just like, I just thought that they were really close with Memphis, and they went and said they talked to Memphis. She was up there, and I get thrown on the block, so it seemed really like they didn't do anything for me, when in reality, Janelle was up there for 2 hours talking to him, like doing everything she could to get Nicole A. not to get put on the block, and just it didn't work out. And they even told her, like, listen, Memphis is just, he's not listening to us. There's nothing we can do. Like, what do you want us to do about it? But she really believed that they were super close with Memphis and had pull with Memphis, and they just didn't. So
yeah.
You good? You good?
I'm yawning like crazy. I don't know what it is about doing a podcast, but it makes me yawn. But yeah, I think everyone in the house kind of had to realize, like, Memphis is kind of doing his own thing, or at least everyone said that, I would imagine, because I mean, he went hard at David, and then he won't listen to anybody. I mean, everyone's thinking Memphis is doing his own thing. No one's going to want to work with him unless he's in power. And when he's in power, he isn't going to want to work with anyone else. So.
He's all about him. He's 100% all about him. At the end of that talk, did you see how awkward it was? Or was that just me?
What talk?
Like Julie and Nicole talking. Like, she said something. I forgot what she said, but they just got really weird. And, like, it was just like they were just looking at each other, and it was like silence.
Yeah. It was weird. It drives me crazy that the contestants have to put a mask on.
It doesn't make sense. Like, they have been in, they get tested weekly.
For over a month.
They get tested weekly in the house. They've not been around anybody but themselves. Like,
yeah.
And I guess it might be because Julie isn't quarantined. I don't know. It still doesn't make any sense.
Do you know for sure that she's not quarantined?
No, I'm saying that might be it. I don't know.
Even if she is, I mean, Julie should be the one wearing the mask, not the kid, not the contestants. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. But it is what it is. The goodbye messages. The one with Kaser is when she got super emotional, because Kaser's like, listen, we did everything we could. We couldn't get the votes. You were the sweetest girl. Like, we love you. And she broke down, started crying. And then Janelle's is just like, sorry, we tried. Yeah. And that was it. Like, very on brand for Janelle.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Janelle was just done with her.
Yeah. Which I would be too. Like, if you do everything for this person, put your, like, neck on the line for this person, and then they go around and it's like, I'm putting these people's heads on spike. Mm-hmm. Like, I hate these people. These people screwed me over. It's like, I would be done with her too. I'd be like, just leave. Like, I don't like.
Yeah, and then on top of that, she's also treating you like crap, like personally.
Yeah,
like in one-on-one conversations. So
yeah. When Janelle's like, I tried my best. Well, you didn't try hard enough. It's like, she tried harder than you did to stay here. Like, she did more work than you did. So, like, what do you want? Yeah. It's crazy.
Tough situation.
Yep. So Nicole Anthony gone. So Keisha, Nicole Anthony, both out. Really pointless people. I feel like it doesn't affect really anything except for it just weakens the other side. But to be honest, I don't think they were going to help the other side, so I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, the only way the other side is going to win anything is whenever they actually get power. Which, based off the HOH tonight, Tyler won an HOH.
Oh yeah, we'll just skip ahead.
I mean, I figured it was what was coming next.
Yeah, it is. But
so I mean, with Tyler winning an HOH, it's just a bad look. I mean,
it's a horrible look. So the HOH comp is next, and it's called mugshots. And Julie mentioned, and this was weird how she was like, yesterday they got to practice this. I didn't think they like told people that. I knew like it was like people know because of the feeds, but it was just weird that she was like, they practiced this yesterday.
They never showed them practicing to my knowledge, but they have mentioned it once or twice before.
Okay, all right, yeah. So it's the competition is there's 3 lanes, and there's mugs lined up behind them, and you're timed. As soon as the time starts, you grab the mugs and you sling it down the whatever it is, the runway, and there's numbers, and the further you go back, the higher the number. And you go 3 times, you have 30 seconds, and the highest number with the least amount of time wins. So we have Cody goes first, and he did terrible, let's be honest. He got 4 with a time of 18:87. And honestly, it looked like he wasn't even trying.
No, I think he had the slowest time and the worst score.
Yeah, I didn't get most of the times because it was just they were eliminated, so it didn't really show it. But yeah, it just didn't look like he was really trying at all. He was kind of like jogging and walking. And if it were me, like, and I guess probably some were trying to throw it, I don't know. But like you would think they would throw it, but like all of them would throw it and watch it. Like you would think they would throw it. Who cares where it goes? Go to the next, throw it.
Well,
go next, throw it.
At some point, it matters where it goes because I mean, if you get a 5-5, you may not want, and you're behind at 11. You just need to hit a couple.
True, but with the time thing, like it was clear that like you had to go quick. Like people that were watching it was still kind of like a quick time. So I don't know. To me, I just feel like
Nicole
they should
and Christmas had the worst strategy, putting them at each barrel individual. I was like, why are you doing that? You're
just wasting time.
You're backtracking.
Yeah, 100%. So basically the ones that really had a shot, Enzo was second. He had 8 with a time of 15:81. He was up there for a while. I think David, Christmas, Davon, Kevin all go, and he was still up there. So then Ian comes up, and he gets a score of 10 with a time of 15:17. And I was like, Ian's win. Like, no one's beating Ian. Ian's got this. Because at the rate it was going, it didn't look like anybody was even going to come close. So Ian's standing up there. Nicole Franzel goes. She got 9, so she was close, but she timed out, I think. No, did she time? I don't know. Either way, she didn't get it. Danny goes. She's got 4. She did terrible. Like, wasn't even close. Then Tyler goes.
Well, she was close to getting. I think she was close to getting 14.
Well, she got it to the 5, but she just went too hard and it fell off.
Yeah, but both times they literally both just barely fell off.
Yeah,
she was like so close to getting 15. But
so then Tyler goes. Tyler goes. He gets 12 points with a time of 14:07. So he takes Ian off, and it's up to Bailey, Janelle, and Kaser. And I know they said it was a random draw, but I feel like Janelle and Kaser going last was definitely not random.
I mean, sometimes luck just be that way.
It was just very convenient of like the suspense of waiting because literally everybody in the world I think wanted Janelle and Kaser to win. So for them to go last and the suspense of that was like I feel like it was kind of planned.
Oh, I mean,
but maybe not.
It was great. Literally the entire time watching, I'm like Janelle Kaser, Janelle Kaser.
Yeah. So,
and then Janelle, like, it got to the very end. I'm like, wait, they're both last.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Bailey goes, she gets 7, not even close. Janelle goes and she gets 11, and I honestly thought she was gonna get it. I was like, Janelle's gonna get this, and she ended up not getting it. But I thought she really was. But
it was truly heartbreaking.
Yeah. And then Kaser goes and wasn't even close. So Tyler wins HOH, and honestly, I don't know if he really wanted to win. Like, maybe he did. Maybe he didn't feel safe. Maybe he was like, crap, I'm left with Ian. Ian's up there, and I've got Janelle and Kaser right behind me. Like, if I don't win this, there's a good chance I go up. So maybe that was his thought.
He had to go for it because, I mean, had Janelle and Kaser been in front of him, it could have been a completely different story.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what he thought in his mind.
Like,
the people that are in front of me and behind me, like Ian's up there, I'm up. There's Bailey, Janelle, and Kaser. The only one I really feel safe with is Bailey, so I've got to try to win this thing. So I don't think he really wanted to win, but it kind of just fell to where he had to win.
Yeah, and I have a feeling we know who's going up.
Yeah, my prediction is definitely going to be Janelle and Kaser because they can't play the safety suite. If Memphis with the safety suite, they're definitely going up. But there's a chance Memphis does go up, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think Memphis will go up. I think maybe as a replacement, but even then,
yeah, definitely.
I think even then, Tyler will probably put someone else up there who he doesn't have a relationship with in any way, because still currently at this point, Memphis is on their side.
And maybe too, if like Tyler's good at this, he can maybe talk someone into like someone on his side being like, listen, let's throw them off. They think there's this 4, they think there's this 6. Let's throw one of you up just to throw them off. We'll put Janelle or Kaser up beside you. No matter what, Janelle or Kaser, one of them will go home. If you get pulled off, we'll throw up the other one. If not, the other one goes. We've got the numbers. And he's really good at persuading people. He's really good at talking to people. There's a chance he goes that route and it really works out for him. Or it could backfire really cool. and not be good for him. But I could it'd be so funny. But
Nicole Franzel is the pawn.
Oh, she won't let him. No, she won't let him. She will
freak out. But it'll be so great.
It'd be great. I would love it.
Time, she will literally just freak out the entire time.
I would love it.
It will be hilarious.
I would absolutely love that. That would be like the best outcome that could happen from this week if that happened. Like, hey, you're going up as a pawn. Nicole Franzel goes home. I would be so happy. But that's not going to happen. He'll throw that out to her. Like, he probably won't even bring it up to her because he knows, like, she's not going to be for that. But I could see, like, Christmas. Let's say Christmas, like, hey, Christmas, you're a good competitor. Like, you could win the veto. Go out there and win it. Who cares? But I'm going to throw you up. Just throw everybody off the scent. Or, like, I can just see it. I can see him talking someone into doing it. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Fun to see.
And the safety suite, I think basically all that's left is people that isn't his alliance, because I think the only one that wasn't was Nicole A, and she's gone. So, and Tyler was one of them that was left. So I literally think there's like 4 people playing.
Tyler, Memphis, Enzo.
Yeah, Enzo, Nicole F, Danny, and Memphis.
Yep.
Memphis, Enzo. Yeah, that's it. I think that's the 4 that can play. So you got to think. It looked like it was going to be kind of one that you had to be kind of flexible, go through the lasers and not hit the lasers. I don't see Memphis winning that one.
Yeah,
so,
they're basically being spies.
And I don't think anybody's going to be like, I'm going to save Memphis.
I can't hear anything you're saying, buddy.
Oh, yeah, you're frozen. But either way,
I don't know if you can hear me, but I can hear you.
I can hear you. You're frozen there. You're back now. But that with the technical issues we've had going on all night, I think this is probably a good place to call it. But everybody, thanks for listening. We go live at twitch.tv/reality rundown, and we record these live after every episode. Normally, we go a little bit earlier than we did tonight, but with things going on, we did our best. But if you are watching on YouTube, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and you can find us at Spotify, Google Podcast. We're trying to get on Apple Podcast. We might get there. I don't know. But we appreciate you guys listening, and we will see you Sunday.